Hello and welcome. Today, I want to talk about one of the most exciting stories in modern cancer treatment, the rise of KRAS inhibitors. For decades, KRAS was considered the holy grail of oncology targets, absolutely critical in driving cancer growth, but completely undruggable. Now, that's all changing. We're witnessing the birth of a brand new, multi-billion-dollar market. So, how did we crack this impossible target? And what does the future hold? Let's dive into some fascinating insights from recent research. KRAS inhibitors are a special type of precision oncology drug. Instead of targeting a general tumor type, like lung cancer or colon cancer, they go after a very specific genetic mutation. This means their success isn't just about how well the drug works. It's also about having the right diagnostic tests, the right treatment guidelines, and the right insurance coverage to get the drug to the patient who needs it. So, why was KRAS so tough to drug in the first place? Well, KRAS mutations are found in about 20 to 30% of all human cancers, including some of the deadliest like lung, colorectal, and pancreatic cancer. The problem was the protein structure. Imagine trying to grab a perfectly smooth, slippery ball. That's what drug developers were up against. For decades, every attempt to design a molecule that could bind to KRAS and shut it down failed. It earned the reputation of being an undefeatable foe in cancer biology. But then, around 2013, everything changed. Scientists discovered a hidden pocket on the surface of a specific KRAS mutation called G1-C. It was like finding a secret handle on that slippery ball. This breakthrough allowed them to develop what are called covalent inhibitors, drugs that could grab onto that handle and lock the KRAS protein in its off state. This discovery wasn't just a scientific curiosity. It paved the way for the very first FDA-approved KRAS inhibitor in 2021. The undruggable target was finally drugged. From a market standpoint, this field is absolutely exploding. Our internal research estimates that the global KRAS inhibitor market hit around $670 million in 2025. That is projected to jump to about $890 million in 2026 and could skyrocket to nearly $3.2 billion by 2032. That is a compound annual growth rate of about 23 to 24%. Now, this incredible growth isn't just because a new drug is available. It's because the entire system around it is starting to click into place. Think of it as a complete commercial loop. First, genetic testing needs to be widely available to find the patients with the mutation. Then, those patients need to be identified and prescribed the drug. Finally, they need to be able to stay on the treatment. In the real world, at the hospital level, we see three key things that determine whether a patient gets a KRAS inhibitor. First, is KRAS mutation testing a routine part of a cancer diagnosis, or is it only done for a select few? Second, can the diagnostic labs, whether they're in the hospital or outsourced, get the test results back to the doctor quickly enough to make a treatment decision? And third, will insurance, both public and private, cover these expensive, targeted therapies for the long term? When we look at the global picture, North America is really the anchor of this market. In 2025, it accounted for about $510 million, and that is expected to grow to over $2.3 billion by 2032. This is because the US has been quick to adopt these new drugs and has a more favorable reimbursement system for precision medicine. The second major growth engine is the Asia-Pacific region. While the market there was smaller in 2025 at around $100 million, it is projected to grow to over $510 million by 2032. The big driver here is sheer patient volume. However, this growth really depends on how quickly large hospitals in the region adopt widespread molecular testing and how insurance coverage expands to include these new therapies. Europe is taking a more measured approach. Access can be slower, but once a drug is approved and reimbursed, its use steadily expands. Latin America and the Middle East and Africa are still in the early stages, but the groundwork is being laid as their diagnostic capabilities improve, setting them up for future growth. Let's also talk about treatment volume, which gives us a clearer picture of actual clinical use. We estimate that about 15 million KRAS inhibitor tablets were sold globally in 2025. That number is expected to climb to nearly 22 million in 2026 and could approach 80 million tablets by 2032. What this tells us is that the winners in this market won't just be the companies with the best drug. It'll be the ones who best integrate diagnostics and treatment into a seamless system. From a clinical perspective, this first generation of KRAS G1/C inhibitors has been a game changer, especially for patients with non-small cell lung cancer who have already tried other treatments. These drugs have shown meaningful improvements in shrinking tumors and delaying cancer progression, making them a new standard of care. However, it hasn't been smooth sailing everywhere. In colorectal cancer, using these drugs alone didn't work as well. This is because the cancer cells cleverly fought back by reactivating another growth pathway. This challenge has pushed researchers to develop combination strategies. Now, combining a KRAS inhibitor with another targeted drug has shown clear benefits over standard chemotherapy and is becoming the new approved standard. And that brings us to the next major hurdle: drug resistance. Cancer is smart. Even when a drug works initially, the cancer can evolve and find ways to get around it. Resistance to KRAS inhibitors can happen in a few different ways, like developing new mutations or activating alternate escape routes. This constant battle has shaped the next wave of drug development. We're now seeing three major trends. The first is developing next-generation KRAS G1/C inhibitors that are even more potent and can provide longer-lasting control. The second, and this is a huge one, is the development of inhibitors for other KRAS mutations, particularly KRAS G1/D. This mutation is very common in pancreatic cancer, one of the most difficult cancers to treat, so a successful G1/D inhibitor would be a massive breakthrough. The third approach is even more ambitious, developing drugs that can target KRAS regardless of its mutation, or even hit it when it's in its active on state. These could broaden the patient population, but also come with new challenges. From a strategic point of view, the KRAS inhibitor market is no longer a simple niche. It's evolving into a complex ecosystem. It's not just about one mutation in one type of cancer anymore. Now, we have to consider different mutation subtypes, different tumor biologies, different lines of therapy, and different combination strategies. In this new landscape, being the best won't just be about having the highest tumor response rate. Competitive advantage will come from a whole host of factors. Does your drug cover more types of mutations? Can it get into the brain to treat brain metastases? Does it work well in combination with other drugs? Is it affordable and accessible? And most importantly, can it overcome or delay resistance? In summary, the story of KRAS is a perfect example of how precision oncology is maturing. It's no longer just about making a pill. It's about building an entire system that integrates diagnostics, therapeutics, clinical guidelines, and reimbursement models to deliver the right treatment to the right patient at the right time. The once undruggable target has now become a powerful, scalable, and life-changing force in the fight against cancer. Thank you so much for watching. It's an incredibly exciting time in oncology research, and I'm eager to see what the future holds. If you're involved in this field, I'd love to hear your perspective in the comments below.